So on Facebook today, I threw a little question out to my friends, and I have several million Facebook friends, asking them what is the local slang or way of talking that most gets on your nerves, it gets under your skin. I threw out a couple of, I said, not only the way people say things, but totally that made up words. Like I threw out an example like tump. This thing, well, and there's some debate. And Pam here says, the boat tumped over. And I don't know. I mean, is it turned over? Is it dumped over?
No, it's dumped.
It's dumped.
It's a word on Word with Friends.
Then it's a word.
If it's a word on, is that the new Merriam-Webster dictionary? If it's on Words with Friends, it's a word.
Yeah.
So yeah, and words like business, I just wonder. So we're going to go through a few of these. They're sort of organized in certain categories, but feel free to chime in. Pam hasn't waited to be invited to chime in. That's what we want. We encourage it here at LBG's garage. Pretend it's your garage, and I'm barging in on your place. Just pretend that, Pam. Fixin'. The ship has sailed on fixin', I know, but just try saying it in front of someone from New York. You will hear the brakes squealing. And you don't have to be from New York. You can be from, like, Kansas. You don't have to be from that far away. What wears me out is, I actually grew up in Duncan, Oklahoma. And one of my best friends, his family, and the only ones I knew, they wouldn't say fixin'. No, we're fixing to go to the store. They would say fixin' ready to go to the store, which was like one stage further away. We're not fixing to go, we're just fixing ready to go. Or maybe it's a more heightened urgency. Maybe you're fixing to go, and then you're fixing ready to go. You got the keys, you finally got your wife out of the bathroom. You were just fixing, and now you're fixing ready. I'm not really sure. I hate it either way. The one that got the most intense, we actually had local celebrities who normally stay the hell off my Facebook page for a really good reason, chime in on this one. There's two words, sell and sale. Something is for sale, and they sell it to you, not the other way around. And apparently that's a big, major thorn in the side. It's for sale. I'm going. So, sell and sale. One lady wrote a whole paragraph. As a language arts teacher, and it wasn't my wife, who is a language arts teacher, every year I have to reteach homophones. And that's not a gay thing, so don't giggle. And you shouldn't have. Every year I have to reteach homophones because of other teachers who have taught kids that words like pin and tent and tent sound exactly the same and are therefore homophones. They are not homophones. This is just her writing this. So we got under her skin with that one. This one I wrote, this bugs me, hear tell. I hear tell there's going to be a shootout. I don't know what you would say. Hear tell. It's like these are two verbs that first of all, they're two verbs. Typically any one sentence just needs the one verb, but you typically don't say, I'm going to run drive down to the store. I don't know. Maybe if you're from Henrietta, you do. This is another one. Like to. Not as in, I like to have sex. It's in, I like to pee my pants when that car almost hit me. I like to. I like to. Iowa Park. Can we start like a euthanasia program? Like if you say Iowa Park, like those cops from Minority Report just drop out of the sky and just whisk you away. You can't say Iowa Park. I had someone come on and say, well, it's actually the name of the Indian tribe and blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's what's causing that to happen. I don't think the senior citizens in Iowa Park are a bunch of etymology experts. I think they're just ambulance. The ambulance. Here's a couple of favorites. Two of my favorite general and department stores, Walmart's and the Woolworths. So, yeah, this one really bugs me because everyone says it. A whole nother. That's a whole nother thing. And you made up a word. Good for you. A whole, what's another?
A whole other thing.
Where's the another? Look that one up. Used to could and might could.
I say used to.
Pert near. This one, I think Chloe here. Is it Chloe or Chloe? Chloe here was a major participant, and that's what brought her out tonight. See, social media marketing works. And I think she might have had this one, but someone was really, really adamant about this. People say stuff like, it needs fixed. It needs polished. No, it needs to be fixed.
It needs fixing.
It needs fixing. It needs fixing ready. But no, now I'm not against dropping the G off an ing. But when you say I'm fixing, you're usually not repairing anything. What's the stuff you put in your crankcase, people?
Oil.
Ah, aren't you funny? You should have a show, Candace.
I do.
Oil. It's oil. Put the Y in there, kids. It's an invisible Y, but we know it's supposed to be there. It's not old, it's not all, it's oil. This one was funny. I want that. As in, my mother says, I want that. Remember to get it for me at Christmas.
I want that.
Owenta. As in, there's a whole lot of skeeters this spring owing to the wet weather. I like the oh yeah, that joke had promise. It worked in rehearsal. Tar instead of tire, far instead of fire, wash instead of wash, tarred instead of tired. That kind of had a little poem thing going on. Gummit, I'm sorry. Gummit, as in, he got tired of working a real job, so he went to work for the government. And that's at the county level. If you work for the federal level, that's big government. So, Merkins, USA. We're number one. Merkins. Purdy instead of pretty. Window instead of window. Yella instead of yellow. Pillow instead of pillow. Now this one cracked me up. These are two that I don't mind that they exist, but I kind of wonder why they both exist. Cattywampus, which is like all jacked up, and catty corner, which is the side across the street and on one side or the other. How do we manage to come up with two completely outrageous, ridiculous words that both start with catty and have nothing to do with each other? These aren't related words. Cattywampus and catty corner. Here are words that are words, but just not the word you think you're saying. It's like the Princess Bride. Inconceivable. This word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Again. As in, you're either with us or against us. Saying, you're saying one word, but you're actually meaning some other word. Pacific. Oh, we know it's a word. It's the name of that ocean between California and Japan. Specific, however, is a different word. You should say that word instead. Ass cream. Yes, this is an actual thing. But if you're asking for 2 scoops of it from Brahms, you're saying it wrong. It's ice cream, people. Can I get fudge on that? Warfare. As in, Daddy broke his hip and had to go on the warfare. Ideal. This is a word. It means like a goal or a value. It's not that thing you get in your head when you think you've solved the problem. As in, hey, I've got an ideal. Coyotes. Only place in the English-speaking world that pronounces coyote this way, Wichita Falls High School. The Coyotes. I ran into that when I moved here, and I thought, no, you're really pulling my leg, aren't you? Oh, I was like, oh, what's the most coyotes? No, it's coyotes. Really, no, it's coyotes. I read books, and I saw that cartoon with the Roadrunner. They didn't say, coyotes after you. Oh, supposedly. Up yonder? No, don't say that. The car is a Toyota, not a Toyota. Again, I think that's on purpose. I think like, no, I know exactly that it's called Toyota, but you foreigners aren't going to make me say it right. It's not a window seal, it's a window sill. Right, Candace?
That's right.
I've spent 20-something years trying to fix her from that one.
It was my mom.
And her mom was also the one that infected her with that shirt's over there in the floor. Get that garbage out of the floor, like it's some three-dimensional space and not a flat thing that something is on.
It's like there's a little ass leg.
It's not the Matrix. It's not. Nothing's in the floor. It's on the floor. Orange instead of orange. And my favorite, wrestling instead of wrestling.
There's nothing wrong with that one either.
Mexicans. This is and my friend wrote, and it doesn't matter whether the person is from Puerto Rico or is Dominican or whatever, Latin descent equals Mexican. This one cracked me up because I hear this all the time. I think I wasn't even aware of it. Rockwaller.
What? Rockwaller.
Like you have Dobermans, you have Pit Bulls, you have Rockwallers. A person close to me wrote, I also hate hearing Amarillo instead of Amarillo. And one of my favorites, as in least, is San Antone instead of San Antonio. And I'm with you on that. Chester drawers. Art, again, a word that sounds like a word, but not the word you mean, as in you ought not go down there. A halt. As in, dang, that other wrestler sure was hard for our wrestler to get a hold of. Smashed taters. This is another one where you're going out of your way just to be difficult. I mean, is it really that hard or that boring just to call them mashed potatoes? I mean, you gotta hick it all up and call them smashed taters? That's just obstinate. On that same subject, locals like to mash on things. They're always mashing buttons and mashing on pimples. Maybe it's legit, but it's ridiculous. Vehicle, cement, umbrella, and remote. What the hell? Just say AT-AT. What? As in, man, I could look at that ass all day. Once and twice.
Really?
That's another euthanasia moment.
Yes.
I've been down there once, but I haven't gone twice. There's a town just east of here. There's a very lyrical name. It's easy to say. Henrietta. It just rolls off the tongue. Henrietta. It's easy to say. It's fast to say. And yet these obstinate Clay County mothers, they just can't leave well enough alone. If you hang around long enough, you'll hear people say Henrietta. Like they just have to go ahead and make it different. Henrietta. And it seems like it ends up being the Clay County Sheriff on television. The one who brings it to our attention. The suspect stole the vehicle in Henrietta and was what was that? It was a Toyota. And he was pursued down Business 287 through Wichita before he was detained in Highway Park. by a wrestler. All right, well, that's all the silliness I have for this bit. So feel free to applaud or whatever. Let's come in a little quicker with that next time.